Hey there, I'm Loguidice, co-founder of Armchair Arcade, co-author of Vintage Games, and co-author of Wii Fitness for Dummies. In today's episode, episode 3, I cover, I don't know. Let's see. Could it be?
Was it? Oh, I don't know. Say it.
Thank you, Church Lady. Yes, Bally Midway's 1982 arcade classic, and one of my all-time favorites, Satan's Hollow. Satan's Hollow is a top-down shooter designed by Bill Adams in 1981 and features a visually striking cabinet. It's a 2-button game with a trigger on the joystick to fire, the same joystick setup as in Bally Midway's other 1982 release from Adams, Tron, and a button on the control panel itself to activate your shield. As the flyer describes, Satan's Hollow is the hot new battle game that dares you to cross the blazing bridge of fire to do battle with the Master of Darkness, Satan of the Hollow. Well, Bill of the Armchair Arcade calls your dare.
So what do you do when the Prince of Darkness and his minions come a-knockin'? Take a page from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, of course.
How does it work?
I know not, my liege.
Consult the Book of Armaments.
Armaments, chapter 2, verses 9 to 21.
And Saint Attila raised the hand grenade up on high, saying, O Lord, bless this thy hand grenade, that with it thou mayst blow thine enemies to tiny bits.
Even though the game borrows liberally from other shooters, it's definitely greater than the sum of its parts. As the flyer summary alludes to, the interesting part of Satan's Hollow is that it's essentially a 2-screen game. You'll see the main screen, which you're looking at now, most of the time.
Not only do you need to take out the enemies, which include gargoyles, bridge bombers, egg throwers, Beelzebub, Old Nick, and Lucifer, but you also need to slowly build a bridge, piece by piece, in order to cross over to the other side, to defeat, temporarily of course, the adorable Satan, and increase not only your score, but your firepower.
Each time you defeat the vertically challenged Satan, you gain an extra cannon, up to a maximum of 3.
Unfortunately, if you lose a ship, you lose what you gained and are back to being the demons and, no doubt, John Romero's bitch. Suck it down! There are 10 different pattern-based stages, some with as few as 6 enemies, some with as many as 16 extra aggressive enemies, including a few that are reminiscent of what shooter or shmup fans would refer to as bullet hell, where an insane number of enemy objects fill the screen.
Bullet hell is not my thing, but leave it to a game called Satan's Hollow to make me not mind the form of it. After all, with some strategy and luck, you can avoid the worst of the stages. It's best to have a bridge built and wait to cross until an enemy heavy stage appears, then make like Psychic Con Man John Edward and cross over. Another way to look at it is like this.
Run away! Run away! Run away!
Satan's Hollow was officially emulated for home play as part of Midway Arcade Treasures in 2003 for the Sony PlayStation 2, which is the featured version, as well as Nintendo GameCube and Microsoft Xbox, and a year later for Microsoft Windows. While it gives you the flavor of the original, I still personally think that for whatever reason, the MAME emulation is overall superior.
There were only 2 official home conversions, including one by CBS Software in 1982 on cartridge for Atari 8-bit computers. The version that you see on screen now is the same version, only it's being played from a homebrew conversion on the Atari 5200. While the Atari 5200 is not directly compatible with the Atari 8-bit series of computers, with some modification to a game's code, it can act very much like a 16K Atari 400.
In 1984, David Berezowski converted Satan's Hollow for play on the Commodore 64. Just like Episode 2's Mancopter, this was a Commodore 64 game that really showed what the platform was capable of early on. And who doesn't love Flight of the Valkyrie?
The sound and music kicks the butt of what was programmed on the Atari 8-bit, and the graphics are also considerably better, colored, detailed, and brighter. While it's certainly no mirror image of the arcade original, you really couldn't ask for much more from this version considering the year, and it's a worthy alternative to playing a straight emulation of the arcade machine. Of course, having to write to a low RAM Atari 8-bit was much harder than writing for the Commodore 64, which always had one memory configuration available, something most other 8-bits lack.
The one major downside to either of the home translations is that the single-button Atari-style joystick was the standard, so you need to pull the joystick down to either fire or activate your shield. Your choice. So, be sure to check out one of the preferred versions of Satan's Hollow, and sing along with Queen. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. Satan of the Hollow, Bill of the Armchair Arcade was happy to meet you. You should check out the little guy too. Also, check out armchairarcade.com for more video game and computer fun. See you next time. Is it getting hot in here?